Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door.
"'Tis some visitor,"
I muttered,
"tapping at my chamber door, only this and nothing more."
Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak of December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for her rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. In the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating,
"'Tis some visitor entreating interest at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating interest at my chamber door, that it is and nothing more."
Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer.
"Sir,"
said I,
"or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you."
Here I opened wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more, deep into that darkness peering. Long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortals ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word,
"Lenore?"
This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word,
"Lenore?"
Merely this, and nothing more. In there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore.
"Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven wandering to the nightly shore. Tell me what thy northly name is on the night's Plutonian shore."
Quoth the raven,
"Nevermore."
Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing a bird above his chamber door. Bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as
"Nevermore."
But the raven, sitting lonely on that placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour, nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered,
"Other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before."
Then the bird said,
"Nevermore."
Startled at the stillness, broken by a reply so aptly spoken,
"Doubtless,"
said I,
"what in others is only stock and store, cut from some unhappy master whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore."
But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy onto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking,
"Nevermore."
Then in methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor.
"Wretch,"
I cried,
"thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind of nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore."
Quoth the raven,
"Nevermore."
"Prophet,"
said I,
"thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, Tell this soul with sorrow laden if, within the distant Aidenn, it shall clasp a sainted maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Clasps a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore.
Quoth the raven,
nevermore.
Be that word or sign in parting, bird or fiend, get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Take that beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door.
Quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
and the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming. And the lamplight o'er him streaming throws a shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.